If you've got a contractor coming out and tuning on your boiler and giving you analyzer numbers, or if you're lucky enough to have continuous monitoring of your stack gases, those numbers aren't too useful if you don't know what they mean. So we're going to take a look at some of these numbers and talk about what our goals are for them and when to throw a red flag.
It's time for your weekly boiler tip.
So if you are the customer and you're paying the heating bills, everybody's worried about the efficiency, because efficiency is telling us what percentage of the heat from combustion is actually going into the boiler, going into steam and driving our processes. And one of the things that goes hand in hand with efficiency, even if we don't have a fancy analyzer, is our stack temperature. Basically, the lower your stack temperature, the less energy is going out the stack. So proper tuning is going to apply the correct fuel-air ratio, but also general maintenance on the boiler. If this boiler soots or this boiler scales, we're going to see a spike in that stack temperature, and that's directly going to reduce our efficiency. Now, that said, when we're tuning a boiler, that's not what we're steering the ship by. That's a side effect of a boiler being tuned properly. There are two things that are my primary drivers when I'm tuning a boiler. One is the oxygen percentage. That 3.7 is telling me that I have extra oxygen in the stack. And before you say that's a bad thing, it's not. We have to have enough to ensure that we're fully combusting our fuel. So that number basically means that we have some extra air. The lower that number is, as we tune it, the less extra air. And that's going to raise our efficiency and make the unit more economical. Now that said, we've got an additional number here, which is our carbon monoxide. And there's an overlap where we may have excess air, but we're still making carbon monoxide. And the thing about CO, if you think about it, CO2 is completely burned fuel. CO is partially burned fuel. So that means that we've actually got burnable fuel going up the stack. And that's going to hit our efficiency numbers pretty quick. So depending on the burner that we've got, our lowest O2 reading is going to correlate with a point where we start to make CO. Because we don't just have extra, we need extra in the right place at the right time. So depending on the burner design, at low fire, we may be able to run O2 at 3%, or we may need to run it at 11%. That's totally a function of the burner design. But what we will find is that there is a floor to how low it can be ran. It may be that we start to make carbon monoxide, so we have to add some air back. It may be a design constraint of the burner. Some burners, if you run them below 11% O2 at low fire, you start burning up the combustion head. So even if I'm not steering with the carbon monoxide, it's a red flag if I start making a lot of it. That could indicate that I do have damage to the diffuser. I'm not heating up correctly. So I want to look at the O2 and the CO if it's available. CO2, being the product of combustion, is a value that, well, frankly, it used to be what we tuned by because the limitations of technology on combustion analyzers. On this analyzer, the CO2 is being measured just to double check our O2 reading. On a lot of portable analyzers, there's not a CO2 cell. It's just doing math to say what that is. Now, one more reading that we've got on here is the NO. So NO, NO2, those are NOx components. And that's not so much an efficiency concern, that's an environmental concern. So depending on the style and design of the burner, we may not even care what the NOx is. But if we've got a burner that's prescribed to be below 30 parts per million or below 9 parts per million, that becomes an important factor, not just in our tuning practices, but in our environmental compliance. So looking at these numbers, if they're available every day, is a great way to head problems off at the pass. If you don't have a constant analyzing system, it's a good reason to have a service tech come out and check it routinely. But the minimum thing we want to do is look at that stack temperature. We can just have a simple probe in the stack to do that.